Hi everyone, Tarso here from the Paul Stevens Spirit Center. We're gonna start live for our a study of the Gospel according to Spiritism, and we're gonna wait for 5 minutes and wait for people that may gonna join this live. But also amazing is that this is always available for people to listen later. Welcome everyone that starts joining us. I see some still here. Hi there. It appears as Paul Stevens, so not sure who was it. Say hi there. Hi, but yeah, it's because the profile comes as Paul Stevens. Erica. Hi, Erica. Thank you. Welcome. Very glad you're here. Erica Campos. Jill. Thanks, Jill. Gonna be starting in 3 minutes. I'm from home, so I have kids. So please, I will apologize in advance if kids just open up and make noise, and well, that's the normal things that happens when we're doing from home, when we have kids at home. So hopefully everyone is well and warm with the weather today. So hopefully everyone is in their homes, and there's a little bit of sunshine coming out, so it's a great thing. The kids, yeah, the kids may join in. Absolutely. Absolutely, the kids may join in. Thank you, Erica. So we had the lecture before with Maria Antonia in Portuguese, so we're gonna have this lecture in English. It's gonna be the same topic, which is the universal medicine. Have another minute. Wait for another minute, and we're gonna start with a pray. The prayer. All right, 6:15. So let's start. So thanks for those that joining me for this lecture and this conversation. I guess one way I can see your texts there, your messages. Please feel free to message if you want to say something. So we're going to elevate our thoughts and ask for protection for our guardian angels and a protection for our the spiritual mentors of Paul Stevens Spirit Center, that they can guide us, they can send us some nice vibrations, and these vibrations could be extended to all of you that are watching now with me, or those that are going to be watching later. I'll thank our guardian or mentor from Australia that guard this our amazing country. That thank you him for all the energy that can provide us and to be here in this beautiful land. And thank you, Jesus, as a mentor and governor of our world, of our earth, for illuminating us at this moment. Thank you. All right, so the title today for a lecture is the Universal Medicine. The title is quite intriguing. The Universal Medicine. It gives an idea and to analyze that it's a medicine that's universal. A medicine can help us, whatever that is and whenever we are, can provide us some help from a perspective, logically more from the spirit and from our soul than focusing on our body. Because that's the remit of the focus of Spiritism. Before we talk about a medicine that what this medicine maybe is, we got to think about why we should need a medicine. Are we sick? Are we ill? What does it really mean? Should we, in our day-to-day lives, we're immersed in this life, with amazing life, with so fast, things go so quick, and we don't realize what's really going on with us and around us as well. So, and most of the things we do, everything we are correlating to, the understanding of the status, the situation we are, comes by comparing. And when we think about planet Earth, the situation we are, individuals, and as well as the situation Earth is, it's interesting to compare, and what we're going to compare with when talking about Earth. Interesting, Kardec brought us comparisons into the Gospel according to Spiritism, which is a quite nice, by the way, version in English of the book. Very nice English translation, directly from the French, which brought the different worlds, because we're talking about this universal medicine, different types, different categorization of worlds where compared to us. So there is us, where we in this transformation that we see all happening. There's inferior worlds compared to ours, and the superior worlds compared to us as well. And it's interesting, and these ideas, all this information, it came through the communication through medium. So it comes from the spirit. So Kardec compiled all these ideas. So so all these planets, they habited by different beings. It will be no more conceivable nowadays that we are alone on this whole vast universe. So if you pick someone from an inferior world compared to ours, and they look at us, they will say, going back to the question, are we sick? Are we need any help? And they're thinking, no, these guys are great, because that's from their perspective. But when you start picking a person from a superior world compared to ours, they'll be looking at us and say, wow, they are suffering a lot, because look at all the racism, the prejudice, all the selfishness and the war that these people are going through it, and the depression and happiness. That's their point of view. But that's two drastic different views, because that our life is not all about this. There's a lot of happiness here too. And the ones from the more elevated world would say, these guys are will. It's not about that, because there's a lot of good things. So we our perspective here in our lives, there's so much good things that are happening all the time, and so many bad things that are happening as well. And the universal medicine comes to us to create this balance about everything that happens in our life. Whether we're going through this process, you got to understand as well that we collectively, as planet Earth, everyone that's here, we are joined together in this journey. Everything we are today, it's an outcome. It's related to what has happened in the past, and we continue evolving together. So it's not about me by myself only. It's about all of us. So as a consequence, everything happens in this planet, our life, what we pass through, the physical illnesses that we have, the monetary issues, perhaps more individually, deception with people, or lost someone we love. Right? It doesn't matter. The way we live this life, it's a consequence for our planet. It's a consequence that we have for our planet today. So, and this medicine comes in a way that is going to help us to live everything. We can't avoid the pain. We can't avoid the tasks in front of us, but we don't have to suffer. And that's what this medicine is. The medicine is faith. Simple as that. So I've made a lot of mystery here, but the medicine is simple faith. We're not talking about religious faith, though. It's not about religious or believing in Catholicism, believing in Spiritism. It's not exactly that. So we're gonna develop a little bit this idea. What we're addressing here, and the role of faith, is more like a natural faith. So the difference between religious faith and natural faith, we're gonna cover here, is the natural faith is this medicine that enables to give us hope and to know how to proceed in our journey and confront our difficulties with no suffering then. It's an education process. As a noble Emmanuel, which is a guardian mentor for Chico Xavier, one of the greatest mediums that we have as well in Spiritism, he wrote, having faith is not just the ability to say, I believe, but to say, I know, not just I believe. Empowered by a reason, empowered by our sentiments. So it is ability to really comes, and this knowing, which is different from when you say, okay, I believe in the spiritual world, I believe in life after death. But the natural faith is something that you live with. You mean that you apply every day on your life. And that's when that becomes a natural faith. So natural faith is something can be simple as I go inside the bus and I'm 100% sure I'm going to come out of that bus alive. That's a great thing. I'm walking outside, walking my dog, and everything's going to be fine. And this everything is going to be fine is part of natural faith. Is its faith, and that's what helps us to go through the difficulties of life. Is the base of hope and the base for love as well. In the gospel, it's written there that faith is the mother for hope and love, which is quite interesting to analyze this. So as we said, religious faith is about, some principles that we get these principles and we want to apply for our path. The natural faith, though, is I know the path. 100% uncontested knowing that everything, I know how this can be done. And even we see before that happening in front of us. And we can transform this religious faith into a natural faith to apply that becomes part of our life. For example, we can pick an example of applying this is the belief of reincarnation. How do we apply in our lives? And this can happen within a family. When someone in a family really hurt us, and our brother or whatever who he is in our family, it's part of this family. We came for a reason within this family. That's the first belief. And instead of focusing on what they've done to us, we have empathy, right? So there's two different ways to take that. Is this person that's really hurt us, and then we look at it and we have empathy, not for what they've done, but about the person. And not holding back, not grudging to it, not holding back for what has happened in the past by their actions. So that's applying reincarnation, because we know that there's a reason we are here in our family. We've been across before in the past life, and everything the family is today is a result of what we live together. If we don't fix in this life, we're gonna have to come back. So this natural faith comes also in caring for others and have this natural behavior. And you see a lot of people, even they don't have to be religious, and just apply to that. So it's ability to be 100% sure, certainty that everything's going to be fine again. So we don't give up. So what will be without faith, without hope, right? There's an interesting quote here that I brought from Martin Luther King Jr. He says, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. And isn't what it is our life is about? We do this natural faith all the time. We go into a relationship, we only see the first step, and then we see the other steps later. Traveling to another country, leaving another country, we don't know what's going to happen, but we have the faith that everything is going to be fine. But it gets complicated with other subjects when people pass away. Some people have better conditions in terms of natural faith to handle these situations. So we are dealing with losing someone and illnesses. All these different things are very hard to apply this faith. So that spiritualism does talk about. So I can give me, for example, if I can pick up one example for me, is that when my dad passed away, I was, I always being brought up into spiritualism because of him. Since I was a kid, I'm not sure why, but I had this 100% belief about reincarnation, and not sure if it was before this life, maybe acquired because of him when I was a kid. So he suffered an accident, and then I was fortunate enough to be able to travel. This was a long time ago. I traveled to there, and he was in the hospital unconscious. So during that moment, but I was like, I knew he was going to be looked after. He was being looked after right there from a spiritual point of view, and it was this journey he had to go through it. And I was part of it. So I was to be strong. I had to be strong. And I had this 100% confidence. It was all natural for me. And the spiritualism helped me a lot on that perspective. So then he passed away, but I had this conscious thing about, I will think about this must be happening. He's there sleeping, and they're helping. Maybe they're already taking him, looking after him, taking him and to another place, and everything is fine. So I was trying to keep that vibration elevated, which I think from that point of view was that it became a natural faith for me, and it was great that experience that now I realized that was really what happened. That when you start looking for other situations as well, we can pick some quotes from Jesus that we read in the Bible. And Jesus, interestingly, Jesus wrote, "Your faith has healed you." In lots of situations where people try to get to him and touch him, and suddenly they had that transformation from a body perspective and from a moral perspective as well. And he always said it wasn't him, it was their faith. So interesting, we haven't really understood yet the power of our faith, the power of will, the power of a mind and the soul. We haven't really grasped everything. Because he also said to us, if you have a faith like a grain of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Logically, that's a figurative language. He didn't want to say move that mountain. But he was saying to us that, one, we don't have faith much in ourselves, mainly, a lot of the times. Otherwise, we could be everything. We could do everything, whatever we dream about it. And that's the main point. The reason we have our inability to really fix our issues or going through the troubles, confront the troubles that we have, is a lack of faith. We could conquest whatever we want, but because we don't have that faith, and Jesus said, like, if you have a faith of mustard seed, it just has to be small, and something we need to develop in situations that we need to understand ourselves. And logically, we have to obey the natural laws and obey and be respectful for others, for decisions, for the things that we do. It's all within the natural laws that are imposed by God and which govern us in the nature, right? So it's not, we really can't ask for things, expect that we're going to do things that are really not possible. It has to be, one, first is faith is about acceptance as well, and then we can't avoid the pain, but we can avoid the suffering, right? So it's about how we go and take the most about the situation. It's easy to say, it's very logical, but when we are in your shoes passing through the situation, that's a totally different thing. It's easy to say, but it's another thing to be in the shoes when you are in a situation, when you lose someone, when you're going through financial troubles, when you experience something that you don't have any control, and it's hard. But then comes with the faith to save us. I think that's where the medicine come about. So let's see a little bit more what I wrote here, so I could share. It would be nice if you be here with us. Good evening, Helen. Good evening to come to us. So this faith, it gives us strength, and when you are in a situation, I guess instead of just looking the bad things about acceptance, as I mentioned, and we see in front of us how we can fix the problem, how we can approach. So another thing is how we apply this medicine in our life. So if you talk about medicine, you shouldn't take medicine just for the sake of taking medicine. We should have a diagnosis, and this diagnosis should indicate a medicine to treat something, to go after something. Same thing for us. So this diagnose, it's really that self inner understand and self-discovery of understanding who we are, and not just looking at the symptoms. Like in medicine, if you have a headache, we need to treat the why we're having this headache. Go to the source. Same thing. We just need to analyze and look inside of us to do that inner reform, and how we apply this universal medicine in case what we need. I don't have faith in myself, and most of the case our behavior becomes like aggressiveness in terms of being afraid. That's what happens to us in certain cases. It's all hidden underneath. If we are afraid or lack of courage, all that kind of stuff comes with ability to be confident with us. So we need that faith. We need to look in ourselves, because where you have someone that is very hard to deal with, and maybe we are not happy because someone has done something very bad for us, and it's okay, but that should be temporary, because you can't be eternally unhappy, because otherwise you put your happiness in the hands of someone else. So that kind of faith comes in perspective, so we can analyze ourselves. So we should revolt against God, revolt about others, because in the end, it's lack of understanding of how life is about, and that because otherwise we wouldn't understand that love is totally good. So we need to have that faith, that goodness, and God is all good. So that gives us the strength, that faith, that everything is fine from a mission point of view, that we are in our mission. In our mission is to really have the courage and strength to have your head up straight and confront these issues. And there's an interesting quote here that I wrote down from Saint Augustine. He wrote that really paints pretty well what we need, maybe that vision to apply this to us. For how long will you have your eyes fixed on the horizon, limited by death? When you will finally see beyond the boundaries of grave. This from this chapter of the Gospel. Well, with all this requires us to really look at our life from a different perspective, different from that everything happens to us has to have a meaning, and sometimes a meaning, and you can't. Lots of things that we can't understand and have a meaning of this life has to be related with something else. That and really, what it's telling us that, for example, reincarnation, which is a very strong perspective, it gives all the explanations why things turn into our life and we can't really understand the commitments we have had in the past that we made, and that's part of our mission in Earth. So because before we come, we have all this planning. Yeah, we read in the Spirit's books. They explain a little bit before we reincarnate in this body. We have all this plan that we set. We understand what's going to happen, these issues through our lives, the people that are going to be crossing our paths, and we understand all that, how it's going to pan out. And we see that we've crossed this path without complaints, without being revolted, without being with faith and going through the straight door, we say. It's our soul will shine and will be radiant of happiness and be successful. That's what happens. That's everything we planned before coming here, and we are doing this with this life. So we are going through. Sometimes we take a little bit of side paths, and we come back to the right path. So it is, but we gotta be conscious that things are happening to us, and most of it, they have a reason to happen. We can change all of them because we're not here to suffer. We don't here to suffer. We're here to pass through these experiences, and whatever they are, which can be quite hard, is that we can evolve and transform this experience so we can share with others and spread love to everyone, with the ones that we are close to us as a family, or those that are around us that have the same experience. And we've seen so many beautiful examples of people that pass through cancer and come back and give these amazing teachings for us when it's a father, as a family. Then we learn so much, and they're so strong that we really just want to watch them and see how they're strong, presenting to their experience. Well, that's what I want to cover from a medicine and a faith perspective, and just leave this message that we can bring faith into our life every day. That the moment when we get grumpy with all the situation we are at the moment, grumpy and upset, or lack of patience with our family in this situation, that we can maybe remember this faith of being in this family, of the faith that you have to be the example. We have to be the example around everyone. If you don't start with us, how we can gonna change this world is quite hard if we don't start with us. So, and then be the example for our family. Okay, thank you everyone that joined us for this talk, and hopefully it was useful, and we can bring this into our day-by-day life. Okay, so I'm gonna finalize with a prayer, elevating our thoughts, and and elevate our thoughts, and hopefully we can send this vibration, and we're gonna vibrate. That we're gonna use this faith and this hope that we can send hope and energy that can get to these people that we create we can make an image of them, and it really we can think about energy that's surrounding them. Whether it's your family, friends, they're passing through some loss, lost their jobs, they can have faith and strength that everything's going to be fine, everything's going to change. That we can send this vibration to those that are suffering with illness, COVID, that we all being helped by our guardian mentors. We elevate our thoughts to all about our mentors, our Master Jesus, that can send light to everyone, to your homes, to yourself, and we can feel this light going through us, can bring the benefits of bringing control and bring emotion and balance to us. Okay, so thank you. And in terms of giving notes, I don't remember much, but anything in terms if anyone has anything that it's with me, if you have any message that needs to be delivered, we're going to continue with the remote so far because we don't know what's happening with Victoria yet. Maybe potentially we're going to know tomorrow, and then we can make decisions through the end of the year what's going to happen, whether we're going to start going physically. Let's see. All right, thank you very much, guys, and have a great end of Saturday. Bye.